Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How did it feel out there?
Thanks. Felt awesome. Just seeing the crowd and just such a big arena. It was, you would think you'd be pumped up like so much that your adrenaline's going, but I was pumped up a lot, but it was very calm. Like when I got out there in the ring, I could like pick out people's heads, see everybody out there in the audience, and then once the fight started, it was almost like slow motion pretty much. It just felt incredible.
Not many UFC newcomers get the type of hype that you received. Did that impact you during the week? How did you feel going into the octagon?
Everybody, when they receive hype, they want to prove themselves pretty much. But I know people may say, hey, he doesn't have as much experience. He may not have 20 pro MMA fights. So, hey, Sage Northcutt maybe shouldn't be here in the UFC. Well, I've been fighting my whole life, and this is what I've been training for my whole life. It's kind of like saying, since I was 9 years old, I've been planning for this. So it's like you're going out for a job, for instance, and you have 10 years to try out and get ready for that job interview. Are you going to get that job? Of course, you get the job, I would think. So that's kind of how it was.
57 seconds, first round knockout. I mean, does it get better than that? Is this like exactly what you planned for?
It sure was. I saw it. I saw everything. I saw him moving, like I said, it was kind of slow motion. And the first kicks, they weren't really trying to hit him. They were just thrown out there to kind of see what he's gonna do, throw a few fakes, and then I saw an opening when he kind of came in, and I just capitalized on the opening and hit him, dropped him, took his back, started hitting him again, and then I decided when he started coming back up that I was gonna take him back down and finish him with some elbows.
In a fight that is so short, less than a minute long, what takeaways do you have from it?
The takeaways would be, it was just, I know it's my first time. It's such a great experience. So, everybody, you wanna have that experience in the ring, especially coming to the UFC. The UFC's the #1 MMA league in the world, and it's just amazing. Like you look at the arena, and it holds almost 20,000 people, I would say. So, just being in the arena that's what I take away almost. Being around that many people, being around this experience is just an honor. That's pretty much what you're taking away, is the honor and the ability to be here, the opportunity.
Was there ever any nerves when you were walking to the cage or anything?
No, there actually wasn't. I know people say they get like the adrenaline rush, or they feel like their heart's beating, but actually it was very calm, and it was all actually very calm. I know I may not have the same experience as the guys that have 20, 30 fights, or maybe 40 fights, and same with amateur or pro, whatever it might be, but I had the experience from fighting straight karate martial arts, kickboxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, having hundreds of matches, and then now it's like piecing it all together. So that is the experience.
With this fight being done so quickly, do you anticipate getting back in the octagon soon? Are you lobbying for a fight sooner rather than later? What's your next plan?
Oh, no way, I'm ready right now. If I could fight 2 fights in this night, I'd go fight right now. I'm ready. So I feel great. I feel strong, no injuries, nothing. I guess I would have to cut weight real quick before I go back out there, but so that might take a little bit. But
about cutting weight, do you think 155 is where you're going to stay?
I think so. I feel incredibly strong. I know I haven't fought here, and since one of my first fights as an amateur, but I normally fight at 170. I was actually trying to gain weight, but I feel incredibly strong. I feel fast, and y'all have yet to see what I can do at 155.
Did you get a chance to really kind of soak it in the octagon? I mean, it's only 56 seconds, so did you get a chance to kind of really take it all in?
Oh, I sure did. Just getting to see. So going up before in the fight, going up into the cage, that was pretty cool that I got to walk out first, because that's when I was kind of soaking it in. Like, hey, my opponent's about to walk out, just kind of like analyzing everything, seeing the audience, kind of feeling it, just making sure I'm calm, and I felt extremely calm. And then after the fight, and before the fight actually, hearing Bruce Buffer's name, hearing Bruce Buffer call out our names and call out everything, that was such an experience. I've been waiting to hear that my whole entire life. I visualized it hundreds of times, listened to him on TV, and then after the fight, Mr. Rogan, just getting to talk to him, that was so cool.
Trevino was pretty visibly upset about the stoppage. It looked like he was, kind of yelling in the octagon. Like, does that kind of like disappoint you a little bit that, the win comes with a little bit of an asterisk, that he, doesn't really see it as legitimate?
No, it doesn't disappoint me, and he might not see it as legitimate because maybe it's because I'm younger. I don't know, but Mr. Dean, Herb Dean, he knows what he's doing. He is the official ref of the UFC, so he knows how to stop his fights and when to let him go. So he has the call, and it wasn't my call. It wasn't Trevino's call or his coach's call. It was ultimately his call. So he knows what he's doing.
Just being from Texas, I believe from Katy, just how extra special is it to do this in
pretty much your hometown.
Oh, it's so amazing. Just, I know the UFC doesn't come to Houston that often, but the fact that they're in Houston, and for my first fight, and my actual first time actually coming to a UFC event. I've always watched it on TV, but I've never been to a UFC event. I've always wanted to, and getting to come here for my first UFC event, having my friends and family, I saw them when I was walking down there, going up there to the fight. I got to give them a hug, and then getting up there in the cage, just listening to all the people that are supporting me, and just kind of like soaking that in. It's such a good experience. I mean, I'm so blessed to be out here, and blessed by God that for everything that Dana White picked me out. That was Dana White's call. He happened to see me in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and that I get to have my first fight in Houston. It's a big deal.
Just speaking of that about Dana, is that a little bit extra special that you kind of get to prove, hey, Dana, you were right in your choice?
It sure is. I know Mr. White. He has an eye for talent, and I know some people might think, hey, Sage is too young. I myself am too young to be out here in the UFC. They might think that, but Mr. White has an eye for talent, so he knows what he's looking for, and what he saw in me, I know that I have in myself and that talent. So I displayed that a little bit of what y'all saw tonight, and I just can't wait to display more of it for the future.
What's a 19-year-old's after party like? Most of these guys, they've got bar appearances, club appearances. What do? You're about 20 minutes from home, 30 minutes from home. What's on tap the rest of the night?
Oh, I'm gonna watch the fights. Are you kidding me? There's still so many fights to watch, so I'm definitely watching the fights. So that's what I'm planning.
Are you gonna take a couple days off after this? Are you back in the gym on Monday or what?
I feel great. I'm back in the gym tonight, maybe. I don't know. No, probably tomorrow, because it'll be late after the fights. But I'm back in the gym and ready. I'm training all the time.
Were you surprised at all at just how much attention you got this week? Were you expecting that?
I know UFC is the biggest league in the world for MMA, so I kind of expected it, and I'm just very honored that I am getting that much attention, and it means a lot to me. So I just want to show everybody what I can do, and compete, do my best I can be out there, just put on a show ultimately.
You said you've been preparing for this your whole life. Does that mean you were watching UFC as a young kid and thinking, while you're doing karate tournaments, like, hey, this is where I'm headed. I'm headed to the UFC.
Absolutely, absolutely. Actually, when I was 9 years old, so in 2006, they have the Sport Karate magazine. So I was put on the front cover of the Sport Karate magazine, and I said my goal in there was, at 9 years old, I said, my goal is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna fight in the UFC and I'm gonna be on TV, and it's happening right now. So I called it in that magazine when I was 9 years old. So ever since then, I've known that this was gonna be here. That's what I've waited for.
So what's the next prediction then? Now that you're here, there's got to be a new goal.
Well, I want to fight as soon as I can, obviously, whatever the card might be, and obviously everybody wants to win, but I believe I can be the champ, and we're gonna see. So I like to be top 10, obviously. I know I have to build myself up. I'm 19 years old. I'm only 19 years old. So I'm the youngest person currently in the UFC right now. So I'm just looking forward to the next fight. I'm going fight by fight.
Speaking of that next fight, do you want a bigger named opponent, or like you said, do you just kind of want to stair-step your way up to that top?
Yeah, I just keep stair-stepping my way up to the top. I know he was 12-1, and now he's 12-2, so that was in my favor. And he had, like people were saying, he has double the experience of me. So I'm 6-0, I only have 6 fights. And I know after that he has 14 fights, the guy I just fought. So I guess stepping it up slowly, I like to take it slowly because I'm 19. I still have so much to learn because I'm also in school at Texas A&M. So if I had the opportunity to not be in school for engineering and get to train full time, it might be scary for some people.
just got replayed on the broadcast back there. So you've been out on FS1 now. So cross that off. It wasn't just on Fight Pass.
That's awesome. Fight Pass is awesome too, though.
What is it like to be a professional athlete and a UFC fighter walking around the A&M campus? Do you get a lot of recognition, or can you be a normal student?
You can't be a normal student because I'm always smiling, I'm always happy. So the people there, A&M has, I believe it's 60,000 or 65,000 people. So sure, people know, hey, that's an MMA fighter. He fights in the UFC now because this is my first UFC fight. So after this, when I go back to campus, I guess I'm gonna see what it's like. Having known that I tweeted about it, and it was on Instagram and on Google that I told my friends about it from A&M and that also. So they actually just did an article for A&M in the sports section with me on it for this fight, before the fight. So I guess the word's kind of getting out there.
Is it hard to balance your studies with your time in the gym?
It is, because petroleum engineering, that's the subject I'm doing right now, and the engineering itself is one of the toughest, I would say it's known as one of the toughest subjects in college, and especially A&M is the #1 school in the nation for engineering, so it is pretty tough, and that's why I cut back a few classes, cut back on the workload just a little bit. So I'm still enrolled in A&M, I'm still taking those classes, but not quite as many, so I have time to train. So like this fight I actually got to train for, unlike my other fights I really didn't get to.
Are you planning on finishing your degree like as you fight in the UFC, or is there a certain level of success where you might take a step back from school?
I guess we'll see how it plays out. When I fight next, I'm ready to fight whenever. I'm ready to fight a month from now, or if it's Australia, or if it's Korea. I like to fight on either one of those, or whatever it might be. So the answer is yes, I might take a break from school and get to train full time. So if I get to do that, then I'm upping my level of training completely, and it's just going to be making me a totally different athlete.
What didn't you show tonight that you wanted to show?
I got to show my stand-up just a little bit. I got to show my groundwork just a little bit of wrestling, but obviously you didn't get to see my jiu-jitsu. You didn't get to see my, I guess people say, hey, it was such a quick stoppage. I don't know if he has cardio. He might not have the conditioning, but I've been blessed with great cardio my whole entire life, and I do have that cardio and conditioning. So if the time comes, and when the time possibly comes, I'll be ready to show that.
I think you mentioned that you said people underestimate you. Is there anything else that you think? Why do you think people underestimate you aside from the age?
It could be the hair. I don't know.